All right, bro. Can you introduce yourself for the viewers, bro?
Yo, what up? It's your boy Kneel To Zod, aka Black from Stolen Park, aka Zod, Z-A-U-D.
Why you write a difference? Is it Z-O-D, Z-A-U-D?
You know what? The reason I changed it up, it's still Kneel To Zod, man. It's still Kneel To Zod 1, but it's just when I decided to try to go the more clothing route,
Yeah.
I had to switch it up because there is a I Zod, so I didn't want
I
no mix
see.
up. So I made it Z-A-U-D.
Oh, okay.
And then
See.
plus I like that more that Arabic side, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
like
hadn't
that
even
whole
thought
feel.
about that. Can you tell the viewers who may not know where you from, bro?
Well, I'm
Like
I'm
what?
in the city of Sun Valley, you know what I mean? We don't necessarily bang Sun Valley just for reasons of our own, but I'm from a gang called Stolen Park. It's not as big as a lot of other gangs, but you know we've been there for quite some time. I can tell you that for sure, but you know that's basically where I'm from, you know, and it's a South Side hood, you know what I mean? If you don't know what that is, that's that 1-3 and shit. So basically a Mexican gang. It's probably gonna trip a few viewers out, but yeah, that's what I rap.
How you end up, gravitating towards the Mexican more than, like how I did with the blacks, me being Mexican and you know what I'm saying? I like talk the way I talk and you being black and break it down, like kind of elaborate on that for me, please.
You know, it's crazy because you know my pops, the way my pops grew up, he grew up in the city of San Fernando. So all his homeboys outside of like the black friends he had were all Mexicans, and they were all from Sanford. Like that was my dad's vibe. So seeing him and growing up, watching him interact with other Mexicanos, it's like I just like this style. And my dad wasn't a cholo or nothing, but he was always clean, dressed, everything to the T. And so that's basically what sparked my interest. And then plus, I like the Mexican girls, the long hair and like the certain stilo, you know what I mean? Because that's what I grew up around. But I grew up in both cities. Well, basically I've been around the valley, but for the key parts that I did the most time in as far as living was Pacoima, San Fernando, and Sun Valley. San Fernando is one of those off of Fox Street that you could always bounce back. Like if you're just having a hard time, my grandpa's house, unfortunately he passed away and they had to sell it. But yeah, that's pretty much why I chose the route I did. I mean, to be honest, the Damus that are in my family, they had a strong pull on me too, but it's just they didn't want me to get into, they didn't want me to be a blood. They didn't want me to involve because the 80s, they were dropping fools left and right. So I just decided to go my own route. And here I am today, Zod.
So growing up, like as a youngster, bro, like what was your school experience like?
It's crazy. Like if you was speaking to my mom, she would tell you that I was like her greatest love, but her worst headache. You know what I mean? Because like even in elementary, I was known to fight all the time. I stay fighting. That's all I ever know. My pops raised me, what my aunt say, to be a bully, but it wasn't that. He just raised me to be somebody that never was on no lame stuff, no punk, no snitch, no nothing. If stand on your own too, and if you lose, you lose, but at least you slung them. So you hear that drone?
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy.
That shit, it sounds like it's hovering right over us, bro.
I know. What the hell is that? It's crazy because you see what I'm saying? Like, hey, not to cut off subject, but that's some funny stuff. Like ever since I got on YouTube, a little weird stuff be happening. You know what I mean? But yeah, basically it's just my environment that influenced my affiliation. And it's like I said, I could have been a Damu, but when I moved back to Sun Valley and end up in my hood, they were already paying attention because I went there rowdy. Like I was always shit. Before I even moved back into Sun Valley, I was staying in Lakeview Terrace in the Terrabellas, and I couldn't even go to the schools in that city because they didn't allow me. So I went to a school in Sun Valley, which was Stonehurst, and I ended up smashing on my teacher. And after that, they kicked me out during spring break and shit. So I've always been fighting. That's all I've known. You know what I mean? shit, I grew up in the time that's all they did was fight. And that's
Yeah.
pretty much my affiliation.
The good old days, actually.
Yeah. Get out there in the street, toe to toe, in a square, head up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I grew up on that time, you know?
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Yeah. So around what age would you say you got, you know, you started like actually, it went more from just, you know, having school fights to like you actually like, you know, like you gang banging now, like
Real, on some real shit. It's like, it's basically like around 10, 11
damn.
is when I felt like what some people say, jump off the porch. When it's funny because what's the name had mentioned, I was like, jump off the porch. Like, there's certain lingo I wasn't really up on, but that's basically when I stepped out the shadows and ended up getting into my hood around 10 or 11. And then, you know, for the most part, it was regular. You only had to deal with fights and, you know, people jumping gates at school, Sun Valley Junior High School, Bird Junior High. I used to get in a lot of fights in Bird Junior High School because they just didn't like my neighborhood, and that's still the borderline of Sun Valley and Pacoima. So you had hoods like Diablos and a few other hoods that was right there. So, you know, that's just one of those things and shit, you know. But it was, I don't know. It was what it was, you know what I mean? Everybody knew the Valley. That's one thing, people would speak on the Valley like it was soft, but shit get popping like real quick, and especially if you black running with a different, you know, a different nationality, they tend to, you know, you'll get the test, and you know that's what it is.
You, from both sides, no, like.
Yeah, it's cause you know what's crazy about that is cause the thing is, like, when it comes to like Mexicano gangs, it's all about respect, and you're gonna either earn it. They ain't gonna just give it to you. You gotta earn that shit, especially being another nationality. Yeah, my family are black and Panameños, and there's a few other cuts in there, but predominantly black and Panameños. So when people see me, it's like all they see is black, and I never really claim nothing outside of that. Like, there's cats that utilize that in order to keep them from getting in the mix, like, in not necessarily in trouble, make their road like a lot easier, but it's not. It never is. It never is. Juvenile Hall taught me that, like, quick. They don't care what you are. Like, you're black and you're from a Mexican gang, like, I need to see where you're at with it. That was a constant, you know what I mean?
So you had to like prove yourself or your loyalty to, oh.
Like, as far as Juvenile Hall, you know, it's just head ups. Like,
okay.
You're okay. They can get past the fact, oh, you black. Like, especially when, like, Mexican dudes, they get past the fact, oh, you're black. Where you from? I'm from Sunland Park. Your neighbor ain't that big. Fools will wanna, you know, they wanna get it. But once you start setting demos and shit, fools slide back after a while. Like, you're in and out so much that people already see you. They already like, damn, they don't even think you got out. You've been in there so much. So yeah, it is what it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, to go back to when you said people think the Valley is soft, like, okay, so I guess I have a question, bro. Like, me, I grew up in Watts, right?
Ooh.
It was really poor, you know.
Yeah.
All right, so my question is, like, in the Valley, I don't know, me, I pictured, like, growing up, I pictured the Valley being like nice houses and, you know, opportunities, and it wasn't like oppression like that, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is, I guess the question I want to ask is, like, how do somebody who live in a nice house, go to a nice school, neighborhood, all that, you know, gets to that where, like, they feel like they gotta, is it survival or what is, like,
Well,
what, you know, to the point where, like, you feel like you got a gangbang, like, or when you got a good situation, like, I don't know.
It's funny.
Not saying
though.
you, just saying in general.
No, if you compare LA to the Valley, it's a big difference. Like, I've been to Watts, everywhere from the PJs up to, you know, up. So I know, like, it's like living in the Valley and then you go to LA. I don't give a fuck if you driving in your car. You go to LA, you feel it. Like, I done got shot at the Slauson just for wearing the wrong shit. And it wasn't even, you know, homies, they see shirts, they be like, I mean, I got, you know, I ain't gonna say who shot at me, but it's like I had the 13 jersey, so cast off from Florence and popped off. Like, you know, the Slauson got its own little. But the Valley is just one of those where you got areas like Pacoima used to be real grimy. Van Nuys was grimy, but it was all predominant Hispanics. Pacoima was a mixture. So it's like when you would go through the projects before like hoods really had it on lock, like with the, you know, you pull up and it was blacks. I mean, I would roll through my mom's and cats would pull up on the car and be like, what's up, like what you need, you know what I mean? But it's just like Pacoima was a mixture, so that's why it was as grimy, and people were getting dropped because you had actual you know, like groups that were connected to the pen, not even the homies, just, you know, the blacks had their little affiliations, so they were like really pushing line in that section before, you know, the numbers switched. But like some fools, I get it, you know, they gangbanging is exciting. It's negative as it is. A lot of people don't get into it, hit the fan, and then some people already know exactly where to go to, but they don't care. They want that excitement. It's like you ever see like a movie, it'll be like a white girl out of Beverly Hills, you know, end up going to a certain part in LA, fall for that bad boy, and then want to take on this whole style until they start seeing everybody get killed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that's what it is. The Valley. You can't really go nowhere in the Valley now without there being hood, especially when the taggers jumped onto the scene. It just really blew up. So now, you know, but that's...
And with rap music and all that.
And rap, it's like what people, like I be telling people, rap will set the tone of the year. Like every year, just listen to the music and it said it. You know, with 80s, we had the R&B and, you know, and Easy came out and everybody felt like they was gangster, and then, you know, Ice Cube and all them, but then Ice Cube shifted away from the hood shit, went more into like chicks and, you know, nappy duck. Remember all that, you know? So music will set the tone of the year, and I think that's what influences people now is the music. Music can send you down a good place or a dark alley, you know what I mean? It just,
Bro, I wanted to tell you a quick story, bro. Like the way I, you know, I guess found out about you, right? Like I was we were, you know, before I knew you, we were at a BLM protest, right?
Yeah.
I took a picture of you, bro, without even knowing who you were, right? Just because it was you and a Mexican.
Yeah.
You know, he was, and I took a picture to like show like black and brown unity, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then my cousin told me, hey, that's a real one right there. He talking about you, right? And he hit me to you, and I went and I checked you out, like, oh yeah. So the next time I seen you at the protest at a different one, you know, I came up to you and was like, hey, what's up, Zod? Like, hey, you know, I told you pretty much, you know, like, hey, I fuck with your shit, man. Like, your shit dope. And so here we are, bro. Like, just how it happened. That's how it was, right? And I want to ask you about the protests and all that, like how it's kind of died down and stuff. But during that time, like, it was a beautiful thing to me. I feel the support that was for the movement.
Yeah.
From Raza. Is the momentum like kind of dying down, and is it going back to like regularly scheduled program type shit?
What it was is everybody was on one mission. The like you had BLM and then you had us, and what I mean by us is like I went there to push for, you know, for them kids that were in cages. I say in cages, I use it loosely, but basically that were incarcerated against their will because their parents were either illegal or, you know, whatever what people consider illegal. And that's what I wanted to push. I felt like just with the little platform I had, like I had, even if it was to, you know, shine a little light on the subject and for people to really pay attention, because at the end of the day, it's like most people that are incarcerated, as far as like the children, they don't deserve it. But unfortunately, you know, due to certain laws, it is what it is, you know. So my whole thing was going to push that agenda, and then other groups start joining. It's like when people ask me, like, what do you think about BLM? I believe in some of it, but what people understand, there's a political side to it, and then there's the ones that actually believe, you know, hey, black lives do matter, and they do. All life matters,
right.
But that I understand when people get upset at that, but let me just slide it back a little bit. Like, people will see BLM and automatically think that you're some far left, you know, whatever.
Extremist.
But then when they find out that you lean right, it's like, huh? Oh, that makes absolutely no sense. It's because I believe in Black Lives Matter, but I don't necessarily believe in the ones that are really controlling it. Like, it's like like I had put a video out, and basically one part out, it was on you. I was like, I met somebody that was, you know, there for Black Lives Matter, but you had stake in it. It's not only immediate due to, you know, who you're with and how you grew up. So that was your stake in it, because somewhere in your heart you believe that it is true, Black Lives Matter, and you had your own fight. And then you had those who were out there on a more political base that were pushing a whole entirely different agenda. And that's why I slid back up off the protest, because the message got convoluted. It's like you would go to the protest and here you got college for this rights, and then you would go over here and it was like for gay rights, and then like I didn't understand it, you know what I mean? So I was like, I slid back off of it. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Unfortunately, some people felt pressure by it and wanted to put more of a negative stigma to, you know, towards the movement. But
yeah. And you know, more stake I had in it. I'm raising 3 black boys, you know what I'm saying?
What I'm saying?
So yeah, I don't want my kids to get shot just for being black, you know, like, cause their moms are black. I'm Mexican, but they're gonna identify as black, you know, because their mom is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what you know what I'm saying, while I was out there, like, and just not just for them, but for the whole police brutality and all that. This shit ain't right, you know what I mean? But so, hey, bro, another thing about that, like, you know how you being familiar with the prison system or the jail, you know, how it's segregated in there. When you see that, like, is that frowned upon in there? Like, people are jaded coming out of prison saying, man, why the fuck would, you know, you think it'll ever be in, where it'll be unity in there, or it'll always gonna be division?
See, that's the thing. It's like, when you're dealing with people in jail, like I see it, it's more of a, I tell you, to be honest, more of a comfortability thing. It's like when you see your own, you know basically what your own does and what they won't do. If you go in the cell, it's like being in the cell, like I sell it with a white dude. They have a whole different style of doing things. So off the back, we're probably gonna have issues. So in order to avoid those issues, we don't sell with nobody outside of Southerners. It's just, and then you're dealing with different mentality. It's just like this, like, so like, it's like if I'm a Southerner, I sell with some black dude and we get in a fight, you know what I mean? It's like that, just off that little issue that we might have had that was small, a whole big shit gonna. So that's why in a lot of cases they want to keep it separate, because you know who your SETI is. Some people have it, on both sides, have animosity against each other because something has happened on the outs.
Yeah.
Even when I was in the county and you know, like the 90s, like 90, you know, I think it was like 97, 90, you know, you had beef. It was a Longos in the Insanes in 20, so it's like their beef kicked off into the county and it would go up every time they get around each other. It would go up. The Hoovers and, you know, and the Soft Flow, it go up, like all these hoods. So it's like a lot of it's not even racist, it's just hood beef. And of course on both sides you have racism, but it's mostly it's hood beef and people's egos. That's all it is. You got, I'll tell you this, and I ain't gonna even put nobody out there, but I've seen dudes smoke weed together and everything in the county. And you know, at one time it would have been beat them fools on sight, but I learned to just stay in my own zone and do what the hell I do. And plus it was riots kicking off all the time in the county jail, and I was there for 2 years. So
American Me type shit.
Yeah, you had hoods that really function with each other. Like, it's always been like that. Like back in the days, you go to the project, not projects, but like the Van Nuys and Pierce Street, and they always got along with the Bloods. Of course, shit started happening, went sideways. But then, like, when you would go to Harbor City Cribs got along with Harbor City. They were tight, and they would bang on everybody else that didn't get along with them too. You couldn't slide through there, and it's always been like that. But you know, prison politics is what it is, you know, and unfortunately, it may shift your way of thinking, but that's in there. On the street, I fuck with who I want. Is, you know, within reason. If you're trash, I can't fuck with you. You're 2-5 PC with it, I can't fuck with you. If you're somebody that just ain't no good, I can't fuck with you. And that's a drone.
Again, bro.
I don't even see it.
Me either, bro. Nah, I hear it though.
What the hell? I don't know.
They spying on you, bro.
Hey, I tell you one thing, because you can't fly a drone around here. You got the police station right here.
Word.
There ain't supposed to be no drones right here. I'm telling you, man, like,
That's crazy.
ever since YouTube, man, and like certain things, especially with music, they've been on the motherfucker.
Hey.
I'll know this shit, and I ain't a paranoid person. I just watch that shift.
Yeah, bro. Speaking of YouTube, can you tell me how you stumbled upon YouTube and how you got a successful channel, growing, and how is that journey like from when you first picked up, first even thought about YouTube and then to now, like like your tips to
Hey, real talk.
any advice?
Funny shit
Yeah.
is like when I first started YouTube, I was actually a gamer. That was like my therapy. I got out like and got back into the swing of things pretty quick. I still had animosity with a lot of hood, so I like was still on some stupid stuff. But I noticed like when I finally started getting into gaming, like I was when I was younger, I was like therapeutic to be on there, trying to master something. So I seen people making money off gaming channels, so I started one. Unfortunately, I'm one of those that go through my little swings, so I'll fall off and won't upload nothing. And YouTube's that type, you gotta constantly keep uploading in the beginning,
Yeah.
and editing and all that. And I didn't know none of that. I wasn't technically savvy, but this channel was more of a fluke. I just wanted to get on there and tell my story. I seen cats do it, but they weren't homies. So I was like, man, let me tell my story, but within reason, without giving off all this other stuff. And for some reason, the first one was like whatever. It's when I did the second video where it started to pick up steam. People thought I was bullshitting. Like the more people came, bullshit. Like it was so funny that cats that were from, all around California couldn't believe that there was a black Southsider. And then what tripped people out is the way I talk. Like, it sound like you out American Me or something. A lot of people think it's a facade. Like not a lot, but a few. But this is really the way I talk. It just I trip everybody out. But YouTube was a fluke. But once it started to pick up steam, and I seen, you know what? Because all my shit is unscripted. I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let me talk my shit to see where it goes. I didn't expect people to want to fuck with me like that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to let people know that this is double S, like, and with all the extras. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it kind of went up. It went stagnant for a second, but that's because I didn't upload as much. I just left it alone.
Yeah.
I was basically out here trying to do my other shit, wiggling. But yeah, I didn't expect it to go up, dog. But that's how it went. The key thing, I tell you what made me what I am, and why people fuck with me, because I've always kept it S, and I've never switched up. I don't got no disrespect for those who run homie and like the sag and use the N-word and all that. If I criticize that, it would be ironic. Like the irony in me criticize the person that, oh, you running with blacks, oh, you a sellout. Like, hold on, you like you know what I mean? Like, hold on, like you running, you know what I mean? Like, come on, dog, you're a black essay. Like, how you gonna? You know what I'm saying? So it's like
it's a contradiction, kind of.
Yeah, they right.
They bumping on Mariam.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Gotta be like, hey. But real talk though, do I need to stop for them?
Are you good? I cut that shit. Come on, they pulling on. Oh no. They really banging the fucking.
Yeah, I'm like, who is that? Hey, cause I'm telling you, usually when people be around here, like, I'll be pushing out my house, like, cause, you know what I mean? You never know who that. Man, turn that shit down.
Like,
Should I just
why
stop
that's
for a
not?
second?
Yeah.